What if Goku replaces Zeno-sama? Zeno had ruled the multiverse for what felt like forever. He was the top himself. Every universe, every timeline, every particle of existence answered to him. But then, he vanished. The Zeno Realm Council, the group that helped manage the endless cosmic madness, had no choice. Someone had to take the throne. Someone strong enough to keep everything from crashing, but not so cold that the multiverse would turn into a prison. So they picked Goku. The same guy who beat Jiren, joked around with Beerus, and somehow made friends with literal God. He wasn't like Zeno at all, and that's exactly why they chose him. He had power. Yeah, tons of it. But more than that, Goku had a heart that made people believe. And now, somehow, the carefree scion was the new Omni King. Being Omni King didn't really change Goku. He still wore his usual GI, still smiled like a kid, and still ate like it was a power-up. But now, instead of just saving Earth or Universe 7, he was watching over everything. His style of ruling was pretty simple. He let universes figure things out on their own. As long as things didn't start unraveling, he stayed back and watched. He believed in people, even when they fought. Take the Kronos realm, for example. Two warrior clans, the Valkyrie and the Drakari, had been fighting for generations over ancient time relics. Big battles, big drama. And Goku, he thought it was awesome. Not because he wanted them to suffer, but because their rivalry made them stronger. In a way, it kept balance. He saw it like a cosmic martial arts tournament that never really ended. But then the Drakari crossed the line. They started using forbidden time, bending tech, that made full-on timeline rewrites, and messing with time never ends well. Their moves started pulling reality apart, leaking chaos into nearby universes. That's when Goku had to step in. He didn't blast anyone into dust, but he shut down their temporal weapons, forced a shaky truce, and reminded everyone that strength meant nothing if it broke the multiverse. But far across the stars, something darker was watching. In the shadows of the Dark Nebula universe, the Void Reapers had been playing a different game. They smiled during peace talks and bowed to Goku's name, all while draining energy from weaker universes behind the scenes. And leading them was Kaleth. Kaleth was Goku, or rather he had been, from a lost timeline, warped by despair and survival. Now, he was colder, crueler, and believed that Goku's way, all freedom and trust, was a mistake. Thanks to Goku's leniency, Kaleth's plan worked. One of the universes the Reapers fed on Zephyron collapsed. It wasn't the biggest realm, but it was rich in energy. And when it went, the multiverse shook. The collapse started a chain reaction. Destabilization, panic, pieces of the puzzle falling apart, fast. Goku had waited too long, and Kaleth had just made his opening move. After the Zephyron collapse, Goku's power was spiking without reason. Visions started creeping into his mind, whispers of control, of fixing the chaos by force. At first he thought it was stress, but turned out an ancient cosmic parasite had latched onto him. It was the last leftover fragment of the Eclipse Sovereign, a being from before even Zeno's time, a creature that believed in total order, no freedom, and no randomness. And now, it had found a new home, inside the Omni King's core power. The attack was to tempt Goku subtly. Every time a universe spiraled into chaos, it whispered, "You could fix it, all of it, if you just controlled everything." It showed him visions of perfect peace, but it was a cold, lifeless kind of peace. The more he tried to resist, the more it pushed. And when he used its power, even a little, it gave him strength beyond anything he'd felt before. But each time it chipped away at his heart. As if that wasn't enough, something else started ripping through the multiverse. The fractured nexus. It was a sentient rift born from the chaos Kaleth and the Reapers caused. And every soul it consumed, every story it twisted, made it smarter, stronger, more impossible to stop. Worse, it started creating echoes. They looked like Goku's friends, allies, enemies, but they were twisted versions, like nightmares wearing familiar faces. Some were angry, others broken, some even begged for help, but they all had one job, making Goku question everything. Between the parasite in his core and the nexus turning the multiverse into a haunted maze, Goku's carefree, open-hearted way of ruling started to break. He wanted to trust, but trust was now a gamble. One wrong move, and a universe could fall, and Kaleth was just getting started. The fractured nexus wasn't just a crack anymore. It had become a thing, living, thinking, hungry, a swirling cosmic parasite that evolved every time it devoured a universe. One second it looked like a dying star. The next, a shattered mirror that reflected your worst regrets. Every universe it touched got twisted, and every fighter it copied through echoes became stronger and smarter. You couldn't punch this thing into submission. You had to outthink it. And worse, it was learning Goku. As the multiverse spiraled deeper into chaos, Kaleth finally made his move. He showed up calm, and Goku was shocked to see him. Well, because he had learned from Goku inside out. He was another Goku. Or at least he used to be. A version from a forgotten timeline that fell into ruin. He watched everyone die, watched freedom turn into madness, and slowly decided that the only path forward was control and structure. In his mind, Goku's kindness was recklessness. His optimism was a weakness. He despised his version of Goku. And now he was here to make Goku submit to him as well through force and control. The two of them clashed. Raw instinct versus tactical tyranny. And for a moment, it really looked like Kaleth might win. He knew every move, every flaw. The fight broke through time, punched across dimensions, left stars burning out out in their wake. But just when it looked like we were heading for a classic Goku wins by yelling louder ending, Kalith started talking first. The fractured Nexus was not the final boss. Turns out, all of this, the Nexus, the Echoes, even the Eclipse Sovereign Parasite had been manipulated, puppeteered, bent like chess pieces by something older than Zeno, older than time itself. A being called the Primordial Architect, the original designer of the multiverse. He wasn't proud of his creation anymore. He wanted to wipe the board clean and start over. Just one perfect, symmetrical, color-coded reality ruled by him forever. The Nexus was just a tool. The Parasite was warm-up, and Goku was the bug in his code. So now Kalith wanted both of them against the cosmic equivalent of a control freak with God mode enabled. He was testing if he could resist his darkest version, then he could defeat this creature as well. Kalith fought like a tactician while Goku fought like a fire. But even together, they couldn't outmatch a god that could unwrite reality itself. So Goku did what only he could do. He trusted the multiverse. In that final moment, he created a technique, a new form drawn from the combined will of every living soul across every reality. He became the multiverse. Kalith, seeing what he could have been, what he should have been, was hurt and proud of Goku. Seeing the primordial architect distracted by Goku, Kalith made his move. He broke the architect's grip just long enough for Goku to act, and Goku, in a flash of raw cosmic force, shattered the illusion of perfection and forced the architect into a void outside of time. The Nexus started unraveling and the Echoes disintegrated. The universes, one by one, started to realign. The same fighter who once begged Zeno for a multiversal brawl just for fun now stood as something else entirely. A ruler who understood power not as a huge responsibility. The freedom he fought for. All those chaotic, imperfect, beautiful realities. They were safe now. Just when things were getting too poetic, Zeno appeared. He hadn't disappeared because he was defeated. He left on purpose. After countless eons ruling alone, watching universes rise and fall like flickers of light, Zeno felt something most gods never admit. Being all-powerful had made him untouchable, and eventually, unseen. So when the multiverse faced collapse and needed a new protector, Zeno let go. And now Goku wanted the same. He understood that freedom can't exist if it's guarded by just one will, no matter how kind. He chose Mira, a watcher older than even Zeno's reign. Mira had existed since the first cosmic breath, walking the edge between creation and destruction without ever tipping too far toward either. She was quiet and unreadable, perfect balance to chaos. Goku went back to being a guardian, suited him well. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you've got your own wild theories about the next multiversal threat, we want to hear them, because in this timeline, the story's far from over.